Who wouldn't want to control what their character looked like? What type of powers they could have? Develop stories about them while playing through the game. Spiral out of control and make a whole headcanon about your character that only you know about. If you can't control much in your real life, you can always control everything in your second one. To anyone who may be interested into getting into this game for the first time, I'd like to be the one to convince you that Dcuo isn't as bad as you may think.
I'm coming.
This is Batman. Sensors are coming in and out. I've lost visuals. What was that? Did something detonate the Batmobile?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
For a 12-year-old game that is free to download, Dcuo is alive and well. With 27 realms of content and dozens of multiplayer missions gluing it all together, Dcuo captures this timeless feel. Even when I didn't know how the game worked, or even what an MMO was, I thought this game was amazing. I'd spend hours creating my characters, always switching characters too so I can figure out which weapons and movement types I like best. At that time, my gameplay only consisted of me fighting gorillas in front of the Bohemian police station on that little beach for hours upon end. I genuinely didn't know that there was more to the game. I just thought it was like Donkey Kong 3D. Or something. I don't know. I never actually played Donkey Kong, or if there is a Donkey Kong 3D.
Please, I have 2 degrees. This is outrageous.
I like to compare Dcuo to one of my favorite movies, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It's a goof fest, but it has some real badass moments. Creating this nice balance between campiness and cool gameplay. Well, some people argue that the game is a little too campy and childlike, but honestly, I don't think it really matters. Like, yeah, the game looks old. Yeah, it's a bit childlike, but people still play Fortnite, and that's not really a concern with that game. Dcuo is no exception when it comes to having toxic community spaces and toxic fans. They will take any opportunity that's been granted to them to let you know every single thing they are upset about in their life, about the game, about people who they can't court, about racism. Yeah, racism is heavy in gaming communities.
First they come into my town and foil my plans at the Flash Museum, then proceed to beat the crap out of me, and then they take my cold gun! I've had enough of this ninja stuff. Leave that crap in Gotham!
We must recognize the root problem of all the Dcuo hate. These haters don't come from other communities in hopes of gaining more players to their favorite MMO. They may play other MMOs, but they too have a deep connection to Dcuo. A lot of people have been playing this game for more than a decade and remember how innocent the game was back in the day. With big updates and style alterations, Dcuo is basically a different game entirely. What differentiates a hater from a lover of this game is whether they've accepted these changes or not. I like to think that a lot of people, more than some, want to see a positive future for this game. There are some really cool people though. We refer to them as chads. The real heroes in the Dcuo community are the ones who interact with each other respectfully, the ones who share their interest in the game with other players, creating safe spaces for us freaks to hyperfixate all over each other. Sadly though, where there's light, there's shade. Being a Halo fan since the ripe age of 7, I can confidently say that Dcuo's toxic fans don't even measure up against the compulsive hatred of the middle-class privileged kids on a Halo 3 server.
Let me get this straight, dumbass! You have a fully reloaded shotgun.
I've seen some posts on Reddit in the large group chat in-game where some players claim that the game doesn't really have much to offer if you're not willing to pay the premium pass. Now, there is a lot of benefit to spending a little bit money on DCUO, but you really don't have to spend any money at all to have a good time on the game. A lot of fans of the game agree that all of the content is obtainable as long as you're willing to grind, which is just a given if you're playing any type of MMO. But for some people, they have jobs and like families and stuff, which is so crazy to me. Is like people are like married and they have kids and they play DCUO. It's not like a judgmental, like you're not weird for that. Like, just honestly just so real. Like, I thought I was going to be like the only guy still playing this game when I'm like well into my 40s. Playable content is free. If you want a different power type or a movement or a weapon, because it's literally just one other movement and one other weapon, sure, you have to spend a little bit of money to enjoy that thing, but you don't really have to buy that thing to have a good time. And I know it's kind of like one of those, it's like, well, it could just be part of the game and someone can work towards it and like play the game and then unlock the Green Lantern ring or something, but it is only $10. And I know that some people might even cringe at that, but I mean, $10, I think that's doable. And it's like the best power set in the game, so I would definitely recommend. It's so smooth. The way that you can hit those combos with that ring is insane. And I'm not sponsored by like Daybreak or anything whatsoever. I'm not glazing them either. I think people have valid concerns about paying with actual money to enjoy the game, but as far as winning the game, so to say, it's mostly a PvE. You don't need to spend any money to rank up or upgrade your items. It would make it go by faster, sure, but it is that way so that the people who have jobs and families and stuff don't have to play the game so much to enjoy it. And look, people have to get paid in order to make this game run. So with that knowledge, it makes it a little bit easier to purchase things. Not saying that like, I have a problem or anything, or I don't have a problem, because I probably do. I still think there's some valid concerns that come from the community space. I asked a fellow community member from Reddit to give me insight into what they feel about DCUO's tactics in getting you to make in-game purchases. The Reddit user Ragnar9412 considers himself an MMO veteran, and they had a lot to say about leveling up your gear, most notably the restrictive nature of completing features because of the lack of incentive to do so. In our discussion, Ragnar stated, "Clearing dungeons is not the only way to get features. There's world bosses which requires you to kill them a certain amount of times, which can be really annoying if you aren't present at the release of the DLC, since no one farms them anymore, especially the older DLCs." So what Ragnar is referring to is those free DLC updates I was talking about earlier in the video. And with each new DLC drop, the older ones seem to lose their popularity. People just don't want to play them anymore, which makes completing features on those DLCs near to impossible. If your character is already a high-level character, this doesn't really affect you much, but for a new player trying to rank up their character, this can feel like waiting for rain in the desert. I can only theorize what could fix this dilemma, but at the end of the day, I have no idea how to actually fix this. I'm not a developer. I have no idea what it takes to make a video game like this, but I do feel like the fans have valid concerns for this game. And I am but a boy. But from what I see, from what the game used to be like to what it is now, I feel like it's well within the realm of possibility to make those earlier features obtainable, because not everyone has a league or a group that they can join in on and, play with multiple people. Luckily, in the newer episodes, they have alternative options for single players. For instance, like the Gorgon and then the statue people, or the Essence of Pride in Kondak with her minions. The developers seem very integrated into the community space, which by all means isn't rare in the gaming community as a whole. I suppose it's just good manners for a professional development team, but you can really tell that they've been listening to the fans' critiques in the newer content that they upload. Like I said, it's a free-to-play game. All you have to do is download it, create your character, and try it out for a couple levels.
This one packs a punch. Ballistophobia, the fear of bullets and explosives.
They've streamlined the process to rank up from level 1 to level 30. You can even skip the tutorial if you don't want to go through all that. I think it's very helpful. I think the new tutorial is very cool. And judge for yourself. But if you want my opinion on it, Dcuo is for real one of the best games out there.
The League would be happy to teach you.
Yes, yes, yes! Teleporter's unlocked. Your pal Oracle's always got your back.